So we learned about virtual warehouse properties. Let's look at the virtual warehouses in Snowsight UI and see how to configure those. So here I am in the Snowsight UI, and you can see the warehouses are found under the admin tab. You can click on warehouses and you will see the existing warehouses configured. You click on this plus warehouse button to create a new warehouse. All you need to do is provide a warehouse name. So let's say I'm calling it test warehouse 10. I need to specify the type of the virtual warehouse. As we briefly touched upon, there are two types of virtual warehouses, standard and snowpark optimized. Snowpark optimized warehouses provide larger memory for memory intensive operations like machine learning model training, etc. The second property we specify is the size of the virtual warehouse, and this is how you increase or decrease the virtual warehouse size, which is also known as scaling up or scaling vertically. So I can pick up any of these sizes, and as I grow higher and higher, the amount of compute resources doubles. So extra small has certain number of resources, small is double of that, medium is double of small, so on and so forth. You can also notice that when we run extra small, we spend 1 credit for an hour. That means if this virtual warehouse keeps running for an hour, we'll spend 1 credit. Now, the minimum runtime of a virtual warehouse, which is computed for credits, is 1 minute. After that, it is calculated in seconds. So this 1 credit is divided by the number of seconds in an hour, and then the exact number of seconds the warehouse is run in. So for example, if this runs for 70 seconds, the amount of credit consumed will be 1 credit divided by 3600 seconds in an hour and multiplied by 70 seconds. There are some advanced options here. For example, auto resume and auto suspend. These are checked by default, and the recommendation is to leave them checked. Auto resume means if there is a new query coming in onto the virtual warehouse, and if the warehouse was suspended automatically, it will resume itself and execute the query immediately. And so now you can see why it is important to leave this checked. Auto suspend means if there is a period of inactivity as per the number specified here, in this example 5 minutes, the warehouse will auto suspend itself. That means if there is no query running on the virtual warehouse, there is no activity or operation happening on the virtual warehouse, it will suspend itself after these many minutes of inactivity. This can be any number of minutes. You can in fact go lower than 1 minute as well. For example, 0.5 minutes means that after 30 seconds of no activity, the virtual warehouse will suspend itself. You have other options like multi-cluster warehouse, which is used to scale these warehouses horizontally, or what is called scaling out, by specifying minimum number of clusters, maximum number of clusters, and a scaling policy. We'll talk about this in the next session, but this is how you specify the scaling out, and Snowflake keeps adding more clusters as the number of queries keep increasing horizontally. Query acceleration is another property, which is a vertical scaling option. What this means is whatever size we have specified here, Snowflake will allow you to scale up to X number specified by the slider here. So we can go up to infinite, or we can go to a finite number, for example 4x of extra small, if a query requires more compute resources. So Snowflake will determine how much resources are required to run a particular query beyond the size specified already here, and then automatically add the compute power in a serverless fashion as required to execute the query. So this is vertical scaling automatically in a serverless fashion, where Snowflake provides a compute based on the query requirements. You can learn more about query acceleration in this documentation over here. So these are the options to configure the virtual warehouses and the properties which we talked about. And this is how you configure them in the Snowsight UI.